His name was Luis Ortiz, and he worked for a small delivery company that covered the east side of town. Not the fancy part. Not the busy part. Just regular blocks with cracked sidewalks and porches filled with flower pots and wind chimes. Luis wasn't loud. He wasn't fast, but he was kind. He always knocked gently. He smiled when people opened their doors, and most days, when his lunch break rolled around, he walked to the same little park on Sycamore Street and sat on the same bench. Alone, not because he didn't like people, but because something about that bench just felt peaceful. The bench faced a row of trees and a quiet little duck pond. It had peeling green paint and a slight wobble in one leg. Luis liked to eat there, sandwich in hand, thermos by his side, watching the ducks and listening to the wind move through the trees. He didn't know why the bench felt different. It just did. No one else ever sat there. Not even the joggers. Not even the kids. He started calling it his spot. Sometimes he brought breadcrumbs for the ducks. Other times, he just sat in silence. But every time, without fail, he felt something like calm wash over him, as if the bench itself was holding something. One Thursday afternoon, something changed. Luis walked to the bench like always. But this time, something white caught his eye, taped gently to the wooden slat in the center. A letter, folded neatly, with 4 simple words written on the front, for the one who sits. If this story touched your heart, please like this video, share your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe for more inspiring stories. Luis stood there for a moment, unsure if he should touch it. The letter was tucked so carefully into the wood, as if someone had placed it there with deep care, not just tape and fingers, but memory. He looked around the park. No one was watching. The birds chirped, the ducks drifted. The breeze nudged the trees gently. He sat down, picked up the letter, and slowly unfolded it. Inside was one page. Handwritten, neat cursive, blue ink, a little shaky. It read, "To whoever finds this, my husband used to sit on this bench every day after his morning walk. He'd pack a small snack, mostly peanut butter crackers, and say it helped him think. When he got sick, this was the last place he wanted to visit. He sat here one final time, last fall, right before the leaves dropped. After he passed, I kept coming back. I'd sit where he sat, close my eyes, pretend he was still here. But now it's time to let go. If you're sitting here, maybe you need the peace he once found too. So I'm leaving this bench to you, and if you ever wonder why it feels different, it's because love stayed behind." There was no name, no date, just a small line at the bottom, signed with hope, "A wife still healing." Luis stared at the page. His sandwich sat forgotten on his lap. He ran his fingers across the ink, then folded the letter slowly and gently, like it was something living, and for the first time since he started sitting there, he felt tears touch the corners of his eyes. The next day, Luis returned. This time, he brought a small bouquet of wild flowers, tied with string. He placed them at the foot of the bench before sitting down. He didn't say anything out loud. He didn't have to. The bench felt warmer now, not from the sun, not from the air, from knowing, from understanding what had once been carried here, and what still remained. Days passed, then weeks. Luis kept returning, but now he wasn't just eating his lunch. He was watching, waiting, listening. And one morning, when he saw a man sitting on the far side of the park, shoulders heavy, face tired, Luis stood, walked over, and said, "There's a better bench over there, if you need it. It's got a little something extra." Luis didn't tell anyone about the letter, not his coworkers, not the lady at the post office, who always gave him extra napkins, not even his sister, who called every Sunday. It felt too personal, like a secret whispered between souls, but something inside him had shifted. He still delivered boxes, still ate peanut butter sandwiches, but now he looked at people differently. He noticed the man who sat at the bus stop, with his head in his hands. He noticed the woman, who always walked her dog, but never smiled. He noticed the boy, who came to the park, and sat alone, drawing in the dirt with a stick, and every time he walked past the bench, the one by the duck pond, the one with the wobbly leg, he'd nod toward it, as if saying, "It's here. If you need it, take a seat." One afternoon, Luis tucked a small notebook and pen into the crook of the bench. He added a sticky note, "For your thoughts, for your heart, for your healing. Days later, there was a new message inside. I miss my dad. He used to take me to parks like this. A daughter still hurting, then another. Gained. I don't talk to anyone much, but today I sat here and felt something, like I mattered. And another. I'm glad someone saved this spot. The bench had become more than a seat, it had become a soft place to land. Luis kept checking the notebook. People wrote letters, poems, confessions. Some folded them and tucked them beneath the slats. Some just scribbled a name. A few left flowers. One person left a single cracker. And slowly, the bench stopped being his alone. It became everyone's. Seer stay suay, dot. A place where strangers left pieces of their story and picked up something in return. Hope, maybe, or peace, or just the feeling that they weren't walking through life completely unseen. Luis made a small wooden sign and screwed it gently into the back of the bench. Nothing big, nothing bold. It simply read, "For the one who sits, may this place hold your heart gently." And every time he sat down, Luis whispered a thank you to the woman who started it all, not with noise, not with a speech, but with a single letter left behind, and a love that never truly left. Spring came. The flowers near the bench bloomed early that year, bright yellow daffodils, little blue forget-me-nots, and a single red tulip someone must have planted late in the season. Luis kept showing up, not every day, not even every week, but often enough. Sometimes he brought coffee. Sometimes he brought silence. Hint. The notebook filled page by page. People came from other neighborhoods. A woman said she'd read about the bench in a Facebook group. A man said his sister told him to sit there if the world felt too loud. They called it different names. The letter bench, the healing seat, the place where strangers become friends. Luis never corrected them. He just smiled when people waved or nodded their thanks. Because he knew the truth. It was never his bench. It was always theirs. Then one quiet morning, as he sat under the warming sun, he noticed a familiar envelope tucked into the bench again. Same style, same neat handwriting. He opened it slowly. Inside, "Dear friend, thank you for sitting. Thank you for listening. Thank you for letting my husband's favorite spot become something bigger than both of us. I've been watching, not to intrude, but to see. And what I see is beautiful. You didn't just sit down, you stood up for those who needed a soft place to fall, and in that, you helped me let go. With all my heart, a widow who is finally ready to smile again." Luis folded the letter and placed it beside the others, then looked out over the pond. The ducks were quiet, the trees swayed, a gentle breeze moved the corner of the note like a wave goodbye, and for the first time since he'd found the bench, he closed his eyes and let the peace hold him. Years passed. The bench still sits in that little park off Sycamore Street. Its leg no longer wobbles. The city added a small plaque, placed with care, and carved in wood. It reads, "Setshid to the one who sits. This bench has held loss, love and healing. May it hold you too." The notebook has been replaced many times. Some people leave poems, some leave wishes, others don't write anything at all. They just sit, and that's enough. Because sometimes, healing doesn't need a voice, it just needs a place. He thought it was just a lunch spot, but the bench had a memory, and when he found the letter, he became part of a love story that never ended, just changed form. Because even when people are gone, their kindness can still wait for someone new to sit down and feel it. If this story touched your heart, please like this video, share your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe for more inspiring stories.